it goes in behind that bar. I've used donuts to draw it up. And if you have a look in plan view, which is what you guys are going to have to do, you'll notice how I've drawn it. The number of bars, the bar mark, the spacing. Now that spacing is always the 300 or 200 or whatever the engineer says at the time. Don't make the spacing like 289 or 246.2 or something, whatever you work it out on the calculator. It's actually the spacing of the bar at the time. You'll notice down the bottom here, I've put the donuts. Now those donuts are not exactly the right spacing, but they're exactly the right spacing according to when I got my calculator out and worked it. It's actually 256. Here we are. Should have been 250, but it worked out at 256. So what I don't want you to do is do the spacing all the way along and end up with a different spacing at the end. It needs to be worked out exactly. Okay? Now a lot of students like to draw it up in elevation first and then project it onto a plan view. There's my plan view. You can see the circles are approximately 2 times the diameter of the bar, and that's roughly what size the delimitator bar should be. I will let you away with a little bit smaller than that or a little bit longer than that, but not much longer or smaller. Okay? Delimitator bar. That's how we do a lap. You're allowed to have a little gap if you want to. And you'll notice that this yellow bar here, see the yellow bar? It bends. See how it goes down and up? It's a U bar. You haven't got a U bar, but you have got one that bends downwards. So looking at it from plan view, it's going to look like this. Now if I was to offset the cover, I think it's 40. That's what it looks like. This is my donut. Can you all see that? So the first thing is the bar only comes to halfway along the diameter of the donut. Don't take it all the way to there or it's drawn wrong. And secondly, the donut touches exactly on the cover. That donut should be circular. I have to do a regen. If I type regen, it will turn out to be circular. R-E-G-E-N. There we are. Now, a filled donut means that the bar goes down or up. So that's why we always show 2 views. Because when you have a look at this view down here, all of a sudden it becomes very clear that this bar goes upwards and that you're looking down on it. But if it went the other way, we wouldn't have it. We can't tell just from a plan view. I only want you to do a plan, and I only want you to set it out the same way that this example is. I haven't completed this. The yellow bar hasn't got any text on top of it. And you're a little bit different because you've got a lap. Your bar lap, this one doesn't lap. So if your bar laps, one thing you've got to be very careful of, and I'm only going to say this once. If you look at this example, if you're drawing it and your bar laps, right, then if there's 36 bars on your schedule, it's going to be 18 on that one and 18 on that one when you call it up on your plan view, all right? Don't put 36 and 36 like a lot of students do. And don't put 18 on here and 18, 18, which it should be 18, 18 and 36 on the bar schedule. All right? So the bar schedule will give your totals only. A lot of students think, oh well, I better split it up for Roger. So they do 2 1603s. One's 18, one's 18. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. Although you think it's right, it's wrong. Plus the poor Steely, he's sitting there, he does it all out the door Oh no, there's another lot of 1603s, I didn't see those. The other thing is, students often don't put these in order because they work out, the 1602 might be the easiest one to work out, so they work that one out first. Then they do 1604, then 1603, and then maybe last 1201. In your head you can do that, but not on paper. The bar marks should flow nicely from 1 down to wherever, okay? Because when they're looking at the drawing of this, now you're doing a very simple drawing, believe me. I've done multi-storey buildings and the bar marks start from the bottom up, so when you get to about story number 60 or something, your bar marks might be up to 1000, and you're not looking for bar mark 1 when it comes to the 60th story. So when they go to site, they get delivered, and everybody knows that's the bottom floor, the next floor, and so on. So your bar marks should always on the schedule be in consecutive order. So don't, I mean, you might do it all right, and you get marks deducted for not having that consecutive